Bringing back Mojito Monday next week. It's been kind of fucking hectic. I'm gonna work on my language because, yes, oh geez, I forgot to include my license number. It is S.0179666. That's because I forgot to do these things. I completely forget sometimes, and it makes it, well, whatever. Hey, you know what? Actually, I think. Actually, I don't know how to use it. Anyways, I'm here to talk about a little bit about what I'm going to do with real estate and my new venture. So this shirt actually has green writing, and I guess I have a chroma key filter on somewhere. So that means, if I take like Qiana's toy, you shouldn't be able to see very much of it. You can see the carbon fiber in the back. Now, what if I was to take, for example, a mask? Yeah. Now, the reason I have this, it's like a whole different little thing, but I should not have a head. So now I'm like the headless guy, and I could have like a little floating something, and be like, what the fuck? Where's his face? So anyways, the reason I'm showing this off is, oh, man, damn. Last time I did real estate, I struggled so much with technology that I was like, the real estate transaction part is easy. Finding houses, selling houses, getting the numbers and doing the math. That's all easy for me. It's always been easy. Math has always been the easiest thing in the world for me. I used to go to math competitions. I know it sounds nerdy. I have more trophies in academics than I do in baseball, which is basically the only sport I played. Played football for a year. Didn't do too well, hurt my hand, and I wasn't quite big enough at the time, and I'm really slow. So baseball was just kind of like the only thing I played. Picked up some golf, some snowboarding. That has nothing to do with real estate. Why I'm talking about real estate is I wasn't designed, at least so I thought, to be in real estate. I went to school for civil engineering. I wanted to really capitalize on my math skills, and what I wanted to do was actually, design bridges. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to design the best structured bridges, all that stuff. Now, life is goofy the way that it works out for everybody, and mine, went to houses, which is cool because, when I was in high school, like right after, I became a licensed electrician. I did that for 4 years. I have just about 8,000 hours. And I was really good at it, and I really, really enjoyed it, but I didn't really appreciate, the industry. I didn't like being amongst, how do I say this lightly, people that aren't as educated as me. And it just, is like, standoffish as it sounds, it's hard to have a like-minded conversation with somebody that doesn't have the same type of scholastic experience as you. And, like I said, that's cool, but not the same. Now, real estate, I kind of feel the same way about. You have a very, very low entry point, and really the only thing you have to have as a prerequisite to be a good realtor is to be a good salesman. And, just be kind of a douchebag. If you're kind of douchebaggy, you kind of tend to do a little bit better because you're kind of like, oh, look at me, look at all this attention. I mean, literally the signs for sale have a picture of a face on there. So on this second version, because the first time I sold houses, I didn't put any for sale signs or anything. I just sold them online because I never wanted the attention or the clout to come with it. But I understand that that's important to a lot of people. So I'm trying to do a little bit of both. I haven't been doing this for 3 years, but I've been, still 100% in real estate, if that makes sense. And kind of just learning a lot more. But I was learning what my weakness was, which is technology. And, now I can basically challenge anybody in Vegas and say, hey, who's got better technology in this vertical than me? And I don't think so. So what I'm doing now is I'm showing a little bit about what to expect, what the market's going to look like, and, what my intention is on why I'm doing this again, since I vowed to never do real estate ever again. And, for me to pivot and go back on what I said, it's not like me. I'm not a person that switches. Oh, I got to get this screen off, actually. I'm not a person that you know, like just goes back to something that I said I was never gonna do. So let me elaborate what this means. So the whole reason I quit real estate was to build my startup company, which is right here. And so this was my, my everything. I wanted to do this. Let me pull up my thing one more time. And so I think it's going to be right here. Let me move it to this screen. So yeah, right here, I'm just getting my pointers right. And then this is this. And that, that is this. Okay, perfect. I know it's weird to look at, but I'm still learning how to do things like this. But anything that has to do with programming, computing, making the best marketing strategies, all that type of stuff. See, I'm working on the cussing. It's easy for me now. And it wasn't, but it is. So let me give you a little bit about what's going on today and what I think the market's going to look like. First and foremost, they tell us not to talk about, as agents, about money and other things. And, I'm comfortable with it. I'm not going to be wrong. So I'm talking about it. All right. So this is it. The moratorium. What is the moratorium? Well, if you are renting, you may know that you may not have been required to pay rent since March. Well, I guess technically April, May, June, July. Now August, September, you can get evicted. So people could have, in theory, not paid month for 6 months. So now get this. Now let's imagine you own 3 properties. And you start looking at your financial situations, you talk to your institutions, and you say, hey, I decided to do forbearance. And then all of a sudden, your credit score starts going down. What are you going to do? So the thing is, if you, didn't make any payments and, the bank still reported to the credit bureaus, which you're not supposed to do, but we already know that banks are not necessarily our friends. We know this. You may be fucked. You know what I mean? And so there's a huge opportunity for me to help people and be like a really, really honest person about this. And here's why I'm not launching this one. I already forgot if that was the one I needed to show, but the one that says Speedy Deeds. The whole idea behind this whole interface was to replace realtors, because I don't, like I said, and I still think this way, I don't think that most of the transactions require a realtor. Most of them. And so why do you pay 6% extra for unneeded service when you could do it yourself? And that's kind of how I felt. Now, what changed everything is this moratorium, along with the fact that we can't show houses that are occupied. So what is a workaround? The other tech companies are already doing them. They're like, hey, we can now show it directly to the buyer, blah, 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 virtual tours, whatever. You can't show a fucking house that's occupied. Now, what would be a loophole? Speedy Deeds. And I already said this. I said this when I fucking designed this thing. I said this company is going to be recession-proof and it can be monopolized. So, meaning you can monopolize real estate with this one platform. And I'm 100% certain of it. Until COVID happened. Let me elaborate. You know how they can't show houses? What would be the easiest workaround? Can you let someone in your house if, for example, they were your friend and you were just coming over for a drink? Absolutely. I just picked up some golf clubs. I went to somebody's house, walked into his garage, picked up the golf clubs. Now, would that be legal if that was a business that provided a service in which they introduced me to golf club owners? Probably not. So you see where the disconnect is? If you had a company like this that was 100% virtual to begin with, now you, the seller, can be the buyer, and the second that COVID would spread, or some big lobby group, hint, National Association of Realtors, they would take this shit down, immediately pass a law and ban this fucking company. So that's why I can't launch this company, probably for yet another year. And I finally built it. That's the upsetting part. So I was scheduled to start taking this thing public this year. I wanted to get 50 listings by the end of 2020. That was my goal. And of those 50 listings, I would collect $0.00. So now you know where my personal passion is. It's not in making money, but it is in actually selling houses. That's it. And I want to do it more effectively and more efficiently than anybody else. And with this program, you would have been able to do it, but you can't. So now what I'm doing is, I kind of need money. So now I'm going to sell houses again. But this time, I'm doing it differently. So here's a little bit of what I'm expecting to bring to the table for everybody and what I'm holding myself accountable for. So number one, for sellers, there's going to be a very, very tailored experience for every single listing, just because different price points are going to have different types of market activity, and different areas of town are going to have more or less desirable actions. Like, for example, I think downtown's going to thrive because of the biking situation. And now they're expanding and doubling down on the biking community downtown, and it should be a great presence to bring here, because I think that for the foreseeable future, we're not going to have too many international tourists here, meaning it's going to be more like what we're seeing today, which is a lot of bikers, a lot of locals, a lot of people from the U.S. It's going to be that type of market here in Las Vegas, which, instantly will bring home values down. What I'm saying is I'm going to look a lot more of just what comps are and do a lot more than what realtors are. I'm going to assess the whole situation. What's your mortgage situation look like? What's everything look like? I got attorneys on board. I just met with my attorney for 2 hours today to make sure that we're delivering the best product. Now, that's one thing that I'm going to be doing for the sellers. And what is the cool, gimmick? Well, here's my gimmick. I'm going to be one of the only agents in town to use exclusively the EA agreement. What that means is if you, the seller, sells their house by yourself, you find your own buyer, you don't pay me shit. And I'm not going to change that word or censor myself, because I fucking mean it. And why? This is why I wanted to show you guys Speeded Eats first, to show you that I fucking mean it. I really, really, really want to help anybody who is a seller, and honestly, truly help them, and not just sell them. So I'm going to give them access to this beta platform. And basically, to use Speedy Deeds, you're going to have to be a client of mine, and you're going to have to use an EA agreement. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you your own landing page and your own experience. So then that way I'll teach you how to market your own home on this platform. And what that's going to do is going to do one of two things. It's going to give me the instant users, and it's going to give me an opportunity to sell their house. So then they have a choice at the end. They could either go with one of my offers that I bring in, or they can collect their own from one of the iBuyers, many other buyers that are out there. But either way, I got an EA. Now, this is where the checkmate is. A lot of these iBuyers, they also have real estate licenses. So if they have a real estate license, they have to put in a former offer through me, and they have to put their fees transparently. So what that gives the seller is 100% transparency 100% of the time. And it's basically a self-automated system that works a little bit like this. Let me just walk you through it up here, I believe. And, this is something that's really, really important to me, because I'm going to change this all up, because it's time. So now I have a platform, and look at how tacky I am. See this color, see that color, see this color, see that color, that. Everything's the same color. That's just how I am. Perfectionist to the fault. And I've already built this to ensure that you get maximum visibility without giving everything away and getting you the most lead conversions. Because at the end of the day, that's all you need as an agent or a seller. You just need to convert your leads. Let's see. For example, you want to do this. I build you your own fucking landing experience, and this is just a demo. I'll put a house right here. I'll put stuff like this, and you're good to go. Market your house. I'll then retarget your people and try to convert them. That is exactly how real estate should be. But that's what I'm doing for the sellers. What else? All right, here we go. Here's the good stuff. What if you don't want to sell? What if you just need help getting your shit together so that you don't sell? Well, say no more. Because I am working on yet another project with some partners that includes escrow, lending, attorneys, whatever you need. And I'm going to revitalize this and help you get started. So This is the one. This is the one that's going to be the biggest issue. So, like, if you don't have a government-backed loan or anything, you might want to check this out because you might not be protected. And if you're not protected, then you're good to go. And the trouble that I'm getting is this guy right here. So, when evictions happen and people aren't able to make their monthly payments again, that's one thing. But if you look at this, what's this going to do? It's a nightmare for everybody. 270,000 people, as a matter of fact, are going to be able to walk away from their rent with pretty much zero repercussion. They're going to look at it case by case, and they're going to determine if we can discriminate against evictions. So, why would you, a renter who hasn't had a job but got unemployment, make $1,000+ a week or whatever, why would you pay rent if you don't have to? Just think about it. And the thing is people are like, what about your credit score? This doesn't really affect your credit score. It does affect your rental history, but if we can't discriminate against rental history, so fucking what? I mean, I can't tell you from a professional standpoint to walk away from your debt, but I just know it's going to happen. And so what happens when, let's say even 15,000 people decide to do that, and now all of a sudden you have 15,000 homes on the market that haven't made their payment or their mortgage in 6 months. What's going to happen to those homes? They're going to foreclose. So what's going to happen to property values if that many homes hit the market? If they flood the market, which they should, they're going to drop. It's just how it goes. And, you know, my expertise is in the stock market. And if I was in this type of a volatile market and I had to talk to my shareholders and, you know, as an account manager, I would say, hey, right now in this type of market, you got to have your exit strategy in place. If you start to see a slide, get the fuck out. But, you know, right now it's kind of the same thing. Collect your gains from your house, sell your shit, and jump back in when it's, you know, a little bit less volatile. Because right now it's completely artificially propped up. There's no inventory, yet houses prices are still the same. It does, and they just keep delaying it and delaying it and delaying it. The longer they delay it, the more that the values are going to drop. I didn't think there was going to be any issue because I thought for sure we were going to be back open by June. For sure. Possibly May. I was like, all right, March, April, that's 45 fucking days. We'll be all right. 45 days, we should eradicate this thing. Hell no. Hell no, I was wrong. So this emergency ordinance is going to completely devastate Vegas. We're going to go through a recession, and it's not going to be good. There's a lot of jobs disappearing. Zara just announced that they're closing all their stores. Victoria's Secret's going to online only, and a whole bunch of other companies are filing for bankruptcy. So a lot of people aren't getting their jobs back. There's no jobs waiting for people on the other side. Technically, I'm on unemployment right now, again. But, you know, when the next round of funding comes out, they'll bring me back, and then blah, 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 blah. This is the whole reason why I'm selling houses again. It's because I got to, you know, do this for myself, do this for my clients, and do this for everybody. Because, quite frankly, this is going to be a pretty scary market, and I just want to be on the right side of history, and I don't want to necessarily, like, you know, just rip people off and say, hey, you need to buy right now, you need to sell right now, you're going to lose your shit. No. I want to provide that information. I want them to make an informative decision on hiring me. That's way different. It's something that I'm very excited and a little bit nervous to take on. But at the end of the day, I've already done this before, and I did fairly well, and I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I just knew how to sell houses. That's it. That's all I knew how to do. Just hire people, boom, 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 delegate, and, you know, sell. Now, it's a whole different ballgame. And, you know, now that, you know, real estate is finally coming to something that I've been preparing for fucking 3 years, I think I'm going to kill it. I don't think that there's going to be anybody in Vegas that can do this better than me, just because of what I know. And I literally quit real estate to learn this exact thing. It's almost like I could see into the future 3 years. And, you know, I had this intricately planned out. I used to write on my walls in another downtown loft I had. And it was just, it's been quite the journey. But I have definitely learned how to become a better person and more organized, and how to actually, like, do the most. Like, if somebody needs something done, I can pretty much do it in a matter of minutes now, just because of my organizational skills. And so now the struggle is going to be is like, how do I make this house stand out? Shit, that's the easiest part for me. That's easy as hell. And not to mention, like let's say I want to get a little bit more aggressive. I don't play. I upgrade all my tech 100% of the time. And the reason I do is because I put all that I learn, all that I earn back into the platform. Because I don't care about money, but, when you have some, you have to reinvest it into yourself. You have to reinvest it into yourself, your companies, everything. Because you know what? You only live once. But yeah, no, I am excited. It's going to be a brand new journey. I'm treating this completely differently. I'm going to treat this like it's a brand new market that I'm not comfortable with, that I'm comfortable with, whatever I need to do. The one thing I know won't change is my ability to sell a fucking house. As far as buyers goes, got a team for that. Because you guys don't need me out in the field. You don't want me in the field. You want me behind a computer where I can fucking handle some shit. Oh, there I go cussing. I'm going to end this because clearly my filter is tuning off. And I can't do it any longer. One last thing. Oh yeah, so here we go. I'm going to go over this guy. Hold on. This one. And here we go. So, how to make something like this pass 101. Make it about income levels, make it about race, and make it about legal status. So, low-income individuals, people of color, and undocumented individuals are especially vulnerable to housing market disruptions. Wow. Soak that one in, guys. Yeah, not getting political on this post. No sense in it. But at least you see why. Well, I guess these two. So that, that direction and that direction. So these two articles right here are both about the moratorium so basically you'll see the eviction thing happen September. It's going to be tied up for at least 30 days of mediation after your 7-day notice or 5-day notice or whatever. So realistically, 45 days. So October 15th is kind of like the new doomsday date where you're going to see a lot of people getting kicked out and stuff. But people are expecting payment September 1st. So September 1st is going to be like the first indication of what's going to happen. And then October 15th is going to be kind of like that doomsday area. But this is if the courts can get to all these cases, which is looking like 272 to 327,000. And I don't think so. I think that number is going to drop to about 175 to 200 personally. But I think a lot of these people are just going to, take this situation and just go, whoop, and that's it. You know what I mean? So I believe that, it's not going to go completely off the wall, but I do think home values will drop. It kind of has to. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Even the stock market doesn't make any sense to me right now, but also why I haven't told anybody anything at all since the beginning of COVID on any investment opportunities that I saw. Because no, I'm not falling victim to this shit. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Just feel free to ask me anything. I love to help. Support me in my new venture. Well, I guess not new venture, but newest venture, which is David Evans Real Estate. I got 2 partners. We're going to rename it after I get the group going and then go from there. Because, like I said, I don't want that fucking clout or anything, or do I care about. I just need to do what's right for my clients, and that's it. Renters. I'm going to come up with something to help you guys out. I don't do rentals. I don't even know how to. But, I'm going to help you guys out, obviously. And you can reach me anytime, 702-708-9044. Let's see, what else I have to say? David Evans,